working so hard, I got a dream, baby. Up in the gym, still do your flow, I take care of my son, baby. I need my time, you need my time.
Word, and welcome back to Dear Reading, and this is going to be our Reading's Finest segment. Before we get started with this segment, once again, shout out to Rhetorical for handling our crispy-ass video, and thank you for the photos. Once again, we appreciate you. Raylyn, thank you for stepping in for this one as well. It was nice hearing your voice on the podcast.
Yeah, she got smooth sounds smooth sounds with Raylyn instead of D.L.
I think Raylyn low-key got a voice.
Yeah.
I'll find out.
It'd be the ones you least expect.
I know. But I think this was a cool episode. Even just the conversation we were having prior. But now we are going to get into this. Writing's Finest. We are here. We are live. We are.
You ready?
You
he
ready?
Got his Red Bull.
I know.
He's ready.
Yeah.
So, introduce yourself, mans.
Oh man. Well, my original name is Zephaniah Rodriguez, but everybody calls me Zar. I run Zar Entertainment and Management. Basically, I'm an entrepreneur out here. So, I started this back in 2016. Yeah.
Word.
So you're probably
Matter of fact, I'll take it way back. I'm going to say like mid 2015.
Wow.
You've been out in these streets, huh?
No,
Yeah,
fact.
very quiet though.
Yeah.
Very, very quiet. In and out, made a lot of connections throughout. Also, I worked in Philly doing security and came across a lot of celebrities. I met a lot of people along the way. And right now, I'm just like trying to up my game now.
Right.
There's a lot of people out here that's doing their thing right now. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Front Row Promotions. Shouts out to Hollywood Pompeii, H Skyline, Chaser's View. Oh, man. Six Studios, BOE, all of them.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everybody's making moves out here, you know? Everybody's trying to make it, you know what I mean? So big shouts out to all of them. You know what I mean? They're all doing big things out here. So it's like, I'm like right behind them all.
I mean, are you really? If you had such time in the game?
I could say on and off. On and off. Like I've been like, for the past year, I kind of took a seat back just to analyze everything around me and analyze basically everybody's movement.
Well, let's take it a step back real quick. First, I need a fun fact.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
What's
the
a
fun
fun fact?
fact. Marie's not here. Dang.
What do you mean by fun fact?
Something's fun about you.
Yeah, we had people say
man.
they're like avid rock climbers. We had random stuff.
A fun fact about me is I'm a jokester.
Oh, where?
I'm a very jokester. Like,
And you weren't flaming Bree earlier?
I mean,
Nah.
I seen it in his face. He gave me the eye because he was like, oh, he gave me the like, oh, you think I'm a clown? And I was like, no, that's not what I meant. That's what he meant. You said that because I was just saying that he's type husky, and you came over and she's like,
I felt like you was calling me fat, but you wasn't saying it though. You like, we don't use the F word here.
So I'm shook. But let's take it a step back. Let's talk about who you are. On like your entire essence in itself, and how did it lead up to Zar Entertainment, and like what was the motivation behind that?
Myself, I've always been around music, even when I was younger. You know what I mean? Most of my family grew up in the church, but you know, they'd be like, "Oh, you can't sing that secular music and shit like that," and it'd be like, well, I'm gonna go in my room. I'm gonna listen to Keith Sweat and shit. But go ahead. You know what I mean?
Y'all can keep it.
Y'all can keep that. I'm in the Holy Ghost, but hell, all right. We're all going to hell someday, but all right. So I kind of lead up to this. It was just like one day, basically working in the club is just like, it draws you more to it. Mm-hmm. So I've been around it all. You know what I mean? EDM shows, rave shows, even got closer to like SZA. I probably said her name all messed up.
SZA, right?
Yeah, I met her before she became famous.
That's
I met
dope.
Lil Uzi before he became famous. So it was like it kind of drew me to it even more. And it was like, SZA, she did a show, and then it was like the saxophone player that she had that show was so soothing that where it just like drew me to it closer. So that's why I was just like, yo, this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I was just trying to figure out how to approach the situation, how to go about it. And I just took everything in to where I was just like, okay, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to break it down like that. And it just came natural. Like, because I already had the experience from working in the club. So it was just like, okay, how to bring that back to Reading, even though that's in Philly.
Are you from Reading?
Born and raised.
Born and raised. Wow. Okay. Cool.
So I was born at the St. Joe's Hospital when it was up on the hill. Now it's the Citadel.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was born. Yeah. I was born there. My great grandmother named me from what my mom told me with the story in it.
What's your sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
You're a Capricorn. Hey, so happy belated birthday.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm 31.
Damn, you old as fuck.
Damn.
Girl, bye. You're pushing 30. Anyways.
I sure am.
But let's talk about the draw a lot more that you were talking about and why you wanted to bring something like that to the city of Reading. Do you think we were lacking in that space?
No, I think it was dead on. It was dead on space, but it's just, for me, I just felt like Reading has so much talent that it's not being shown. And then it's just like, how can we get more people more involved? How can we get these artists more seen? Like, it was just, that was the thing for me. Like, I run across a bunch of artists that are good, like talented. And I was to the point where when I was doing my shows, like everybody was just like, oh, you should do auditions. Why would I do that? Because I feel like that's just breaking somebody's spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, if you have something that you want to show, and if you really have a gift, I'm going to let you present it. I'm not going to give you no audition. You got to have serious guts to be like, I'm doing this. How much is it? Some people just get scared and then they lack stage fright. So for me, I just wanted to break that away and just have people just, if you want to perform, all right, come perform, bring your A game. So that was the thing for me. And I just felt like doing a platform to have unknown artists that are not out here, but they're like undercover artists. Like, they just don't want nobody to know that they do it. So then it was just like, that's the reason why I wanted to do it, to bring them out their shell. Like, for instance, and me and Hollywood Tay laugh about this all the time.
I love Hollywood Tay.
Yeah, Hollywood Tay. Me and her laugh about this because I remember my very first show. She came, and she was like, I'm a rapper. I looked at her. I swear to God, I looked at her. I was like, she's not no rapper. There's no way she raps. Now looking at her, it's just like, yo, she's dope as hell. Like, who, like, I couldn't believe she really got down like that. And it was just like, every time we talk about that story, it makes us laugh because it was like, I looked at her different, like, no. And that's why I want to bring it out the show. Like, you never know what somebody is capable of doing. Rap, singing, you'll look at an ordinary person and be like, oh, he don't sing. He can't do it. But then when you actually hear them, and it's like, damn, you was hiding this whole time? Where you been at?
Mm-hmm.
So trying to set a platform to bring people out of their comfort zone and pushing them to the limit to where they have no choice. If you want to be heard and you want your music to be heard, you got to come out of your shell.
Yeah, I think that's dope.
Yeah, that's a fact. And so in your long list of things, you're also, what are you, a promoter?
I'm a promoter, event coordinator, oh my gosh, showcase hoster. You know what I mean? I'd break it all down.
Word.
So it's like, I'm mainly known for the showcases. So,
what is that in? Because for me, I don't know what a showcaser is.
Showcase is basically anybody who has a talent. For me, I feel like it's anybody who has a talent that is willing.
I was about to say, you ain't gonna pick that phone up, are you?
No, I exit the call like, why calling me right now? But no, for me, for showcases for any artist that's trying to really do their thing. So that's the reason I do the showcases. So I have like my inbox is flooded right now with artists that are out here, but they're not known. And then they hit me with when are you going to do another showcase? When are you going to do this?
Let me tell you, after I did the Here in My City event, that's all I've been getting lately. It's just like, when's there going to be another showcase kind of thing? And I'm saying, I'm just like, can we give time for it to damn simmer? Like,
yeah, it's like when you do a showcase, it gets overwhelming. And then it's like, now that you're out, like they expect you to keep doing it. But what people don't understand is it takes time. It takes money to do all this, and it doesn't happen overnight. Like your music doesn't happen overnight. You got to go in there and do so many takes and redos all over your music so to make sure that it's right there. And people don't understand, like, as promoters and event coordinators, we have to make sure everything is running to a T.
Yes.
Because if it doesn't run to a T, then it's headaches, then it's problems, and then it's like, can y'all just give me some space? Like, I'm the type of person, like, anybody who has been to my shows have known me to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And they're like, why are you doing this? Why aren't you sitting your ass somewhere down in the corner somewhere and just observing everything to make sure everything goes? Because I like to be hands-on. So I don't want, like, I'm the type of person that I got to go check, make sure the DJ's good. Go to the door, make sure everything's good at the door. Go to the caterer, make sure the food is right. Because I ain't want nobody come like, yo, man, that food was horrible. Right. So it's like I do all that in the circle as the event's going on, and then I run to the hostess like, yo, the person's up next. All right, you got it? All right. All right, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Right. So I literally go in a circle and make sure everything runs on point, make sure everything runs smoothly. It does get hectic. People don't understand that. People that want to do showcases and stuff like that, it gets hectic. It gets, because then, not only that, like, people don't understand, like, you get some of these artists that are big-headed. So then they just come to the shows whenever they want to and think that they're supposed to go right on. And it's like, no. Like, would you show up to a job interview late?
No, never.
Preach. Because you're speaking to my soul right now, because even with one of the events that I was throwing, I wanted people to be there early so that way they can get a sound check done, so that way they can meet the DJ, get comfortable and whatnot, so they know what the performance space is going to look like. When I tell you everybody was late.
It aggravates you. Yeah. It aggravates your whole soul, because it's like, would you show up to a job interview late? Would you show up to, if Atlanta Records or Def Jam or anybody famous came knocking on at your door, would you show up to their interview late?
Right. Because I think for event coordinators, and especially somebody who puts on showcases, there's a kind of a bit of we get taken advantage of. Yes. Because they don't think, they're just like, well, you gave me this opportunity. And it's almost like they expect us to have to work on their time, where it's like, no. If I'm making this platform, you still have to respect me, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to put you on and give you a platform if you're going to shit on me. Like, Facts. Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Facts. And that's how I be feeling sometimes. But, you know what I mean? I'm the type of person that just, like, kind of holds everything in. Yeah. Until, like, the very last minute. And then...
You're like me then.
When I get a chance, because I remember I had a whole debate on Facebook behind artists because they were sitting there complaining about slot rates, and it was just ridiculous. And then I'm like, okay, y'all sitting here complaining about slot rates and how much money that y'all are putting into your music, which is understandable. I give everybody credit where it's due, because you're investing in yourself. So if I'm also investing in a platform for you to present yourself, respect me the way I'm respecting your music. Right. And some of them just don't get it. Some of them get big-headed. Some be like, oh, I deserve a check. I'm like, I still got this DM from this one artist. He literally told me that he needed to have 2 bottles and $200 in his pocket for him and his team. And I looked at that DM and I left it on scene like, who is he talking to?
Oh. Yeah, I can tell you, because they were bold at one of my events, and the one dude was like, do you know who I am? I said, do you know who I am? I run this event. Like, he was like, oh, well, you should let me into this, da-da-da-da-da. We should start this and try to, like, take over the event. And I said, there are 5 performers. You're not on that list, and this is not the order of events. I have to worry about now the event space, because I only have a certain amount of time for them. Exactly. And you're trying to throw off this, and then people were late as it was, and so you already threw out my night as it was. I try to give people, like, here, I give you, like, that courteous half hour, because I'm like, I didn't say it was a white man's, like, 7 o'clock to be there on time. It is, like, be there, and I give that leeway, because nobody always shows up on time, right? Exactly. But I think people forget, when you're renting out a space, 1, that's money. 2, if you go over, that's more money that you have to worry about. There's insurance that goes into it. There, like, I don't think people understand the logistics.
Right now, I'm going through a situation right now with Abraham Lincoln Hotel. Now, they have vent spaces and stuff like that, but in my contract and in the lease, it was hectic because I've been going back and forth to a point where I had to get my lawyer involved. So it was a point where not only as I'm renting this place out for my party, which is February 16th, the Valentine's Day affair.
And I heard Berto is singing too.
Oh, I gotta go now. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Berto's
I love
he's
me
doing
some
his
Berto.
thing. I got H Vidal hosting it from 99.3. I got my two DJs, DJ Smoke and DJ Farrell. So they're gonna be there doing their thing. And I got it catered by Marcy Lynn, who always does all my catering at all my events. Like she's the only one I pick. But what the situation with the Abraham Lincoln was, it was a whole list of stuff that was going on before the actual new event coordinator came into play. Now, I was dealing with somebody before that was doing the events, and now the way she was willing to work with people, she worked with people, you know what I mean, broke it down to a T. The whole issue was with it, they wanted me to get insurance, and they wanted me to get a security team. And I'm like, looking at them like, yo, y'all want all this, but ain't that what I'm paying the venue for?
Right.
Like, you're making me spend like well over $1,200 to rent this space out. But then you turn around and tell me I got to get insurance, which was another $186.
Right.
Yikes.
But then when I find out through the insurance company, they're like, oh, not only are you covering your ass, but you're covering their ass as well. I'm like, wait a minute. They had their own insurance. They was like, yeah. But the whole thing is for you to get your insurance.
So they don't have to worry about theirs.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's the double play that people need to understand. Like, when you're really doing an event, you really got to read over your contract because there could be secret things that are going on that you would have thought was okay. And then at the same time, it could screw you over.
So you read over your own contract? Or
I read over my own contract, and if something doesn't sound right to me, I take it to my lawyer.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I do a lot of thinking before I even present a show, before I even put it out there.
Right.
So I'm just like, I'm always hands-on. I do have a team with me.
That's going to be my follow-up question. Like, how do you work with your team and how big is your team?
I do have a team with me. Sometimes I don't always involve them in everything because it's like, it's my own vision. Like, I got to make sure it's on top.
Yo, you're really, like, speaking to my soul right now because I'm the same boat where, like, they're just like, Marquise, you're probably going to want, like, maybe, like, an event manager, like, there. So that way somebody else is, like, has eyes on the event and knows how it goes. But I'm saying, I'm just like, no, I have a very particular vision on the experience
like,
that I want to curate for
when
somebody
you have
else.
a set vision and you want it to go the way your vision is, and sometimes it doesn't always go your way, and it just like, okay, maybe I should have got somebody involved.
Right. It's like 2020 hindsight. Like, it's somebody should have been here.
I think it was one show where everybody see me running around like crazy with a chicken with his head cut off because I'm handling every single thing. And everybody just looked at me and was like, yo, you need an assistant. Why are you doing all this?
Oh, don't worry. I'm moving forward with assistants for like all of my shit.
Yeah, so it was like I had got an assistant. She watched the door, made sure everything ran smooth at the door because she was the one, like, she spoke up. You know what I mean? Shouts out to TT.
Shouts to TT.
Yeah, she made sure everything was on point running at the door. My brother, Solo, he made sure certain things ran right, made sure that I didn't go through a lot of headache and stuff like that. Matter of fact, we just shot a song. Matter of fact, with him, my artist YB's cousin, and my brother. So we had just made a new track.
So you also manage artists?
Yes, as well.
We'll get into that after this.
I also do. That's a headache itself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like I have a lot on my plate, and it's like not only do I do that, but I have like 2 other jobs that I do. So I'm like all over the place. I have a regular 9 to 5 where I work at Morgan Truck and Body. Not only do I do that, but also on the side, I also cut hair. I'm a barber at Secret Barbershop right here on 5th and Walnut.
When do you sleep?
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, I'm exhausted listening to you.
Yeah, I was like,
like, that's what everybody asks me. Like, when do you sleep? Like, when do you have time? And I'm like, I find my ways in time. There's times where I'll be on my break and I'll fall asleep during my lunch break. I'll eat at 6 o'clock, and then when my 30-minute lunch break comes, I fall asleep. And then I wake up and then get back to work. And then half of the time I'm up when I get home at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm just like already brainstorming, looking over things, trying to figure out how to make this better, how to run that better. Like last night I was brainstorming. I literally was brainstorming. I had called my friend Nikki, who came on to my team as well, and she lives out in Jersey. So any decisions that I make from here on out, I have been calling her and getting her advice how to go through with it. So it's just like I'm adding more people on, basically as a concierge, to make sure that I'm not in so much of a headache.
So what advice you've been giving me a lot of gems that I picked up, but what advice would you give to our listeners
who want to get into event coordination?
Yeah.
Have patience, because it's not easy at all. Like you don't know what your client could be asking for, what, like, they could be going over the top, and it's like at the end of the day, you got to have patience. Even as much as you want to be like, yo, fuck this, I don't want to do this. But it's just all about having patience. And I'm learning myself how to have patience. Because there's times I will blow up and be like, man, screw you. You want to see outside? You want to talk about this? You want to have 30?
No beef. Oh, you still mad about the?
Nah.
Say you looked me straight in the eyes when you said that. I got shook for a second.
Nah. It's all jokes. Like I have fun with it. When people even call me fat, I'm like, what? I ain't fat. Slim thick, boy.
That's
Speak
sick.
on it.
You never put a word on it.
I tell them all the time, I'm husky fat. Leave me alone.
I called you husky earlier, so me and you were fair.
The way
was going in.
I just said, don't you want the big chair? I would think because you kind of husky, you would have wanted the big chair. That's all I
DearReading
said.
does not endorse fat shaming.
It wasn't fat
Does not
shaming.
reflect her.
Again, I
views
just
do not
said-
reflect the podcast.
Okay, but
anyways, but what I wanted to get into a little bit for the second part of this interview is artist management.
Yes.
And you do that as well. So what is that world like? And what is that like? Because do you work with primarily Reading artists?
Yes. Right now, I'm only working primarily with Reading artists. I feel more comfortable with them. I have been approached at a couple of events that I've been to manage other artists outside. But I feel comfortable with certain artists that I deal with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where I know I ain't going to have too much of a headache, because it's like building a relationship with the artists that I deal with. For instance, YB, who has been with me from the day I started Zar Entertainment, and he's been rocking with me, and I rock with him the most. So it's like an understanding with me and him. Like I can tell you on one hand, we never had an argument, we never had bad blood, nothing. We sit there, we joke on each other, we talk about, we have fun. Like that's
So you
that's my
locked
brother.
up with him?
Yeah.
But then being the man, is it tough having to manage a friend? Like some people seem to be able to, but I don't know.
I think it's all about how y'all handle the situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing with me, is how you handle the situation. And to me, I feel like with him, we kind of separate our personal lives separate from our business lives. So, you know what I mean? That, like, for instance, today I hit him up, how's the family? How you doing? You know what I mean? We hit it off with that, and then we go straight into business. So it's like we build a rapport with each other just to make sure everything is good. And when he's going through something, I fall back and I let him handle it. I try not to get too deep into it. I let him handle what he has to handle. Then I'll wait a while, and then I'll hit him up and ask him again, like, how you doing? Did you handle that situation? Stuff like that. So there's not a time where I could say on one hand that we never actually ever had an argument. Now, the only one I really butt heads with is my brother.
You manage your family?
I manage my brother.
Ooh.
So it's like with him, sometimes we nitpick at each other, but
Right.
it's like me and him are neck and neck. We're
Is he
a year
younger
apart.
or older?
Yeah, he's younger, but he
Okay.
looks older than me.
Oh, okay.
But that
That must be worse.
like it's
I'm
it's
the
funny
good-looking
because
one.
everybody be like, "Oh, who's the oldest?" And I'm like, I'm the oldest. But because he has this whole damn Sunni thing going on and he has more hair on his face, everybody thinks he's the oldest. But it's like, no, I'm the oldest. He gets the looks from me. But he's a light-skinned version of me, though.
Oh, we got our own light skin here too.
He's a light-skinned version of me. So him right there, that's my heart and my soul. That's my brother. I love him to death. You know what I'm saying? I love his family and everything. You know what I mean? When I was down and out and I was going through a rough time in my life, him and his wife really looked out for me for over some years now, like well over 3 or 4 years now. So I can say that right there, them two, I love them to death. But sometimes it does get a headache sometimes managing him. Because sometimes it's like...
Is he the one that asked for 2 bottles and $200?
No.
You could tell us. It's a safe space.
No, we're not going to put that artist on blast. But no, he's not like that. He's very simple. Sometimes you got to kick him in his butt sometimes just to get him going.
Right.
So it's just like for us, it gets rough sometimes. But we never take it to the point where we're discussing with each other. He's another person. We might have our disagreements, but sometimes we like, all right, I was wrong, you was wrong. All right, we're even. Like that's how we get with it. But you know what I mean? Him, he like I said, that is my heart and my soul. Him as well as YB, TT, my other sister-in-law, Milks. That's my team right there. All them 3, along with my good friend Nikki, my brother Dante. Like right there, I'm just building my core right there. And then I have another friend, which is my other big brother. His name is Shy. He runs a photography company. He has Chaser's View. He's another person that I talk to as well. Like, so the 3 older heads is like right over top of us. So sometimes we go to them for advice and they give us the best advice as possible. Like, they're not going to steer us wrong.
No, that's super fire. It was cool to hear that perspective from somebody in the city who throws events, other people who throw events, but also like you're also an artist manager as well and promoter and every other thing Renaissance man over here.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
Yeah.
But other than that, like we'll leave off with this too, is what advice would you give to people who want to manage an artist?
Same thing. Patience.
Because you're dealing with people.
You're dealing with people. And then you got to also know how to separate your business personality with your which basically you just got to separate the two because you don't want to get too deep into
imposter syndrome.
Is it your ego?
Huh?
Like, do you have to strip away like your ego when you're working with like basically
even with
artists?
family? Yeah, with family and with family or with other artists, you got to figure out how to have a common ground between the two because it's like you don't want to overlap or conflict with each other because that's where it causes problems. Right. For me, I think that's what causes problems. Like if you get too deep into your artist's personal life, even though you want to know what's going on, making sure that they're on point and everything. At the same time, you just like, okay, well, maybe I'm gonna step back a little bit, let you handle that, and then if you need me, you let me know. Right. I'm here. I'm not leaving nowhere, but I just rather you handle that on your own. Because at the end of the day, that's something that you got to deal with.
Right.
So I just feel like if you know how to separate the two, business and personal, you shouldn't have no problems.
Right.
At the same time, some artists got to also respect their managers as well. Like, you know what I mean? Even though you might not think that the best moves is going to take place, you got to let your manager take the steps that they need to take to get you where you need to be at.
Right.
Because some managers, you know what I mean? You got some managers that don't know how to manage. They don't know what the hell they're doing, but they promise you everything in the goddamn world what you're gonna do, and then they don't come through with it. That's why there's always contracts involved. Mm-hmm. That's why I feel like if you gonna manage somebody, let them know, like, listen, if I don't do something within 90 or 6 months, you can go ahead and do your own thing.
Right.
But if I'm progressing and we're doing something and we're making a name, then that's when we talk about hitting with a either 1 or 2 year contract where just in case you're not happy at the end of the day, all the time that and effort that I put in, you know what I mean? I want credit for it. You know what I mean?
No, I feel
that's real.
I mean, other than that, what we're going to get into now, because I think all of you dropped hella gems like throughout this interview for real.
I'm definitely gonna listen back to this and be like writing
Let me take
shit
some
down.
notes.
Yeah,
right. Because even like for me as like just an event manager and people have been asking like, oh, maybe you should think about like artist management. I'm just like, oh wow,
it does feel like the natural transition for you. Yeah, to be honest.
No, because that actually was super informative for me. So I appreciate you even doing that. But what we're getting into right now is going to be our random questions.
Random questions.
And so, since we are down 2 hosts for this episode, Brianna and I are going to go back and forth with 5 questions for each of us.
Add it up.
So it's rapid fire. So it's the first thing that comes to your head. Just answer whatever. Bree, you want to start?
Yes. Favorite ice cream?
Chocolate.
Ew. No one on the show has said chocolate.
I thought, didn't our last host...
Raquel, yes, she said chocolate
I like
everything.
mint in my ice cream.
Thank
All right,
you.
disgusting.
You're both
Thank you.
Well, cut that off right now. Favorite color?
Red.
Favorite cartoon?
Oh, damn.
Damn, threw it back, huh? All right.
If I have to go with favorite cartoon, I would have to say Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry?
Yes.
She picked that too. Oh, okay.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, you
Steve
gotta meet
Harvey or
Raquel.
Bernie Mac?
Steve Harvey or Bernie Mac?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Who you picking?
Who you
Bernie
pick?
Mac.
As you should. You better. Good.
Oh, let's see. Favorite song?
Oh, man.
Favorite song by an artist, by one of your artists.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
getting in there.
Yeah. Well, YB has a lot of music that I like the most. We got the Running Through the Six, which was one of the songs that I had him and my brother and his cousin get on. That's my all-time favorite. And his one that he dropped last year, Like Me. So that was Like Me was one of my favorite ones. Like I like how he's rapping about himself. So that's one of the songs that I like the most.
Word. Favorite black sitcom?
Family Matters.
Oh, word.
Okay. Favorite food? You have a
Nice.
favorite place to eat?
Oh, I do have a favorite place
Those
to
are
eat.
two different questions, Bree.
All right. Well,
Well, favorite place, I'm going to say the Grill and Chill. And when Earl
Hey.
does his fish and greens, oh my God.
I heard stories about the fish and greens.
Oh my
jam.
gosh. Listen.
Yes.
Ooh, let me find out. That's where I got to roll up next. What else we got? What was that?
That's
Question 4?
five?
Is that
Four?
4 per person? so
Marie
far?
usually keeps count.
I know. This is
Dang.
trash.
Nas or Biggie? Wait,
Girl, it
Nas,
wasn't your
Biggie,
turn.
Jay-Z. Sorry.
Nas, Biggie, or Jay-Z?
Or Tupac.
I was gonna say, I was like, are you just gonna
Damn.
This is a question
Do
for
I got to
Miranda.
pick 2 or 1?
You could pick what you could
2?
2. Okay.
If I'm going to go with where it's at, I mean, all of them are my favorite ones. All of them. But if I'm going to really listen to some words of wisdom, I'm going to go with Nas and Tupac.
Yes.
I'm not mad at you.
Man.
That's good.
My mans.
Because they speak, like, out of all their albums, and all their songs, they speak about something that everybody's going through.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just got to look, like, somewhere down the line, their songs reaches out to somebody who's going through what they're going through at that time. That's how I feel about it.
I fucks with
I
that.
like that.
Last question. Your favorite album that was released in 2018?
I'm gonna go with right now, 2018. I'm gonna have to go with Champions, Meek Mill.
Not mad at that.
Not mad at it.
Yeah. That comes up there.
When he came home, he came out with a bang.
He sure did.
He came out with a bang. Like,
I think he needed to go to jail, but that was just.
No,
I'm
I
just
don't
saying.
think he needed to really go to jail because
For
I
the
think
album? For the
from
album?
listening to the story
What do you mean? That album was just like that's for some. Meek is already creative,
Hold
but
on.
that struggle though, there ain't nothing like
his
a struggle meal.
I think that album actually put him on his pedestal where he was before he left battle rapping. So it kind of brought him back like, this is what you need to be talking about.
Right.
Because when he went from battle rapping, it was like...
He needed that after that L from Drake. I'm just saying, like, we weren't going to forgive him until he did some real hood shit.
We're going to continue on.
You know what I'm saying? But then, if you really want to listen to an album that really kind of hit too, was T.I.'s.
Yeah.
I slept on it. I'll go home and I'll listen to it. Because this one over
Listen,
here,
I told
T.I.'s whole album was fire.
Thank you.
if you guys say, I believe you.
Oh my
I believe
goodness.
you. He's been
T.I.'s
saying
whole album was fire. And then when he did...
people.
And then when he did the song with his son, the beat that his son
his son can
produces.
spit. Yeah.
Listen. What, okay, but an artist that everybody needs to be prepared to watch, and when I say watch, Diggy Simmons.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I believe it, but like, okay, so this thing
Diggy
with
Simmons is the one that you have to
we
watch.
don't
Really
let,
look out
we
on this
don't
whole
look at Jaden
tangent.
Smith then because we don't let the
Okay,
sons.
listen, Jaden
we don't
Smith
let
is
the-
weird, but we're not
Well,
going to...
don't you go there because
Oh.
You
Jaden
must be a
Smith.
Jaden
Jaden
Smith.
Smith had bars. That's
I
why
am
I feel
also
like
a Jaden
Jaden.
Smith fan.
Dick, thank you. Like Jaden, Dickie, T.I. son. We don't let like the kids of rappers.
Some of the
prosper.
kids, yes.
Who?
The kids from some of these
Who?
empires...
They have to be like unknown. Like you know what I
Unknown.
mean? Like
But
you have
I
to go
think
there unknown.
me personally...
This wasn't even supposed to get into this conversation.
Me
Finish this and then we'll get to the
personally-
next segment.
P.S.
me personally, Diggy Simmons is the one to watch because he's talking so deep in his raps, it gets way... And then the fact that
Okay.
his mature level is up there,
Yes.
Right. I respect that.
he's talking like a grown-ass man that he is, but it's beyond to where you can go back to where it was in the 80s.
Look, when I tell you, like,
Reverend.
especially like even after his trip to Ghana and his like experience with that, I'm excited to see just the content that he's gonna put out with that because that was a
And
soul
matter of
search
fact,
for
didn't
him.
he just wind up in a movie?
Yeah,
What movie is he in?
Oh my God, I can't
because he
think.
was in right now. Well, okay, so I know he's in Grownish right now.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's my shit.
and then ooh, is it a movie or is my thing? I was thinking Grownish. Just kidding.
No,
No, I
he
think
wasn't
it is
grown. He
Grownish.
had
He
like a
is.
little. Yeah.
No, he's
now
a
he's
character.
dating. Yeah, he's dating.
the Chloe and Halle.
Well, yeah.
Chloe.
Yeah, whatever.
That's
We love them.
whatever. All right, so we'll get back to this. Anyways, so what we're moving into right now is the final segment of the show. This is the Dear Reading segment. And so this is essentially your open love letters to the city. So this is whatever we talked about during the episode or any advice that you want to give off. So Bri and I will go first, and then we'll end off with you. And then we'll go into our church announcements.
I am my brother's keeper. No, I'm joking. All right. So, dear Reddin, effort. You put effort into the things. Like just sitting here with our guests, I realize that effort goes a long way. Like sometimes you got to sacrifice. And I feel like a lot of people in Reading, a lot of people in general aren't afraid to sacrifice or give up, for something bigger.
Right. Dear Reading, you belong in that room. Simple. Break off
Word.
that imposter syndrome. Just you belong there. And happy Black History Month.
Hey.
If I see any more nonsense, I'm going to fight.
Oh man. Dear Reading, prosper, succeed, accomplish. Whatever if one door closes, another one will open.
That's a fact.
I'm with it.
Word. All right. Any church announcements?
Yes, the eighth annual Poet Laureate contest is still ongoing. You can go to rack.edu/poetry in order to submit 5 poems, win $500, and they're having a big hoorah over there at Rack. Invite your family. It's nice. Titles are important, and who wouldn't want to be Poet Laureate?
I know. For me, over here, February 14th is going to be the Reading Soul Speak event at
Yes,
Barrio,
Yep.
which is at the WCR Center. So you go to 5th and Walnut, and you'll be able to find it from there. Shout out to Lisa. Shout out to David, Scared of a Day Job,
and Talia Vibes.
Which is going to be super, super dope. February 21st at the Grill and Chill. The NAACP and Dear Reading are co-hosting an event. And so you'll see the flyer come out this week for more things. But if you're interested in performing in any kind of way, the theme around this event is call to action. And so the NAACP wants to make sure they're more involved. So not only you're supporting Black business, you're supporting another Black organization, and you're supporting a Black podcast. So
On Black History Month.
you're welcome.
Hey.
And then last but not least, oh wait, is that it? February, is that it for us?
I think
I
so.
think so.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this month is really good. Whew.
Self-care month.
Cool. All right. And I know you got some events going on.
Yes, I do. February 16th is the Valentine's Day affair. Like I said, it's hosted by H. Vidal. Music by DJ Farrell and DJ Smoke. Also, a big performance by Berto Batista. So,
It's
I don't
lit.
know if you haven't heard any of his music, but
Oh.
Let me tell you, Nasty and Loyal, my shit.
oh my gosh.
Like,
He,
yeah.
Yes.
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 You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I have that going on February 16th. Get your tickets. You know what I mean?
How
Hit
much
me
are
up.
they? Where they at?
They are $25, and I have them on me at any day. Whenever you need them, just hit me up and let me know.
We going?
Yeah, I plan on going.
Oh, see, I never get an invite. You know
What
what?
you mean?
This is
It's look, that flyer has been going around
for
I've
like
been
3
arguing with
K
it.
Savage.
Why you always start beef with Bree? He was beefing with me. Okay, I wasn't beefing with him. I just want to put that. It's all love over here.
Yeah, DJ DC, Eric Davis, Kanzi, K Savage, all that. That's an amazing team right there. You know what I mean? Oh, also, shouts out to TCP out there in Lancaster. They're also a group that's from out there in Lancaster, but they do some business out here in Reading. You know, it's amazing how certain teams are actually coming together and working and supporting one another. So that's the main thing here is, you know what I mean, supporting.
Right.
So that's a couple of things that I got going on. Also, I'm hoping to do a showcase in March 23rd.
Hey,
there's gonna
that's
be
my
a
birthday month.
There could be a couple
snap.
things going on.
Yeah,
Fact.
there's a couple of things going on.
Oh, because you remind me. All right, that's facts.
Oh, wow.
Also, don't forget this R&B day party is about to be lit.
It is.
Let me
I can't
solidify. I'm
wait.
trying to get a date.
R&B, what?
R&B day party. I'm organizing something. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Planting them seeds for
He's
people.
been in the kitchen.
Yeah, cooking. That's it.
See, that's what you got to do.
Yep.
Keep
And
people
it's
guessing.
all the time.
I ain't mad at that.
But other than that, once again, make sure if you want to support DearReading in any way, we are looking for, there's advertisement opportunities. There's also sponsorship opportunities. Anything like that, it is really great. We also have Patreon as well. So if you go to patreon.com/DearReading, you will also be able to become a sponsor for us at a Patreon for as low as $2 or as much as $25, whatever is in your price range. Our goal is to hit 30 patrons by the end of March. And so help us reach our goal, please. Because running a podcast is not cheap.
Not at all.
Not at all. But other than that, we just complete another episode. Week 5 into our new season.
Yeah.
Fuck it up, Bree.
Hey, fuck it up.
Fuck it up. Hey, fuck it up. All right, we down.